What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode number 41 of Leon It's not Leon. It's Lizanak. We're at Lizanak, Jack, but Kahinde, he's not at Lizanak, he's at Leon. This is tough to record. This is difficult. I still don't know if I've made the right decision on this one. Emmanuel Kahinde is a Leon player. Yes, our captain, our top assister, one of the best performers in the league. And I've sold him. And I've sold him for £45 million plus a 50% sell-on. Of course, we're back for a double-header relegation scrap today. And it is February. It's been a busy January. And as you can perhaps imagine, when you sell a player for £45 million, money's had to be spent, and it really has been to try and fill a void that is going to be left. I ummed and ahed about this deal. Kahinde, just a fantastic player, a loyal servant to the club, joined us, of course, 3 years ago now, an ever-present part of the team. But ultimately, 45 million for us is just too much to turn down. Even after all the business that we've done in January, we have 51 million in the bank. The wage budget's massive. I imagine that next season we're going to be swimming in even more money. And, well, I'm hoping that with the business I'm done, we're going to stay up. I watched back yesterday's video and I was overly negative. And you know what? After this January, I feel pretty optimistic about everything going on at the moment, which I suppose is a pretty good situation to find ourselves in. So yes, it has been busy January. As I said, Kahinde going for 45 million plus a 50% of any sale. Not profit, just any amount that he goes for from Leon, which you would imagine at some point he will move on. We get 50% of that fee. That is pretty good negotiations, I think, and also that does open up the opportunity to potentially buy him back and get half the money we pay for him back. Now, he isn't the only departure in January. Vidmar has also left us to go to Chelsea. If you're sat there thinking, who is Vidmar? It's a pretty legitimate question. He's a player who we signed as a free agent, a Shvetsov-like player last year. Never played for the first team. I saw that Arsenal made a bid for him and I negotiated £5 million, and I thought £5 million for him was great. And then a couple of days later, both Tottenham and Chelsea came in, and after a bit of negotiation, we ended up going with the Chelsea offer and getting £13.5 million for him. Silly money, ridiculous money, and it's money that, along with the Kahinde cash, has allowed me to reinvest. Anyway, let's talk about the ins. On the ins, we've been very, very busy. Not all 12 million has been spent in the last month, but a big portion of it most certainly has. And whilst we've signed a load of players here that you can see, also started sorting out some deals for next season, which I'm already very, very excited about. So in terms of the ins, Marlon Adriano joins us. Worth noting, he's on international duty at the moment. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure he would be fighting for a first-team spot. He is capped for Brazil's under-20s. Good little player, available on a free. Our scouts who are chilling out in South America doing assignments picked him up. And yeah, for a free transfer, I just think it's some really, really good business. And he's not the only freebie we picked up to start the month. Zamanis even, I'll get there eventually, has joined us. A Australian international, previously playing for the CU Academy. We've immediately loaned him out, and immediately in Ligue 2, he's having an impact. He got a goal on his debut for AC Ajaccio, which is obviously pretty good. I will say now, if you've not checked the CU Academy in your own save game, do yourself a favour, go do it. They have some really, really good players, and I'm hoping that Zamanis will be one such player. Anyway, we move on to some players we've spent some cash on. The first is Johnny Byrne. I think it said Byrne. If it's not, answers on a postcard. Really good centre-back. Joined us from Portsmouth. Whilst his bravery and composure I would rather be a little bit better, and maybe his passing's a little lacking, I think he's a really, really good centre-back. Loads of international experience, 20 years, young, and just an immediate upgrade into the first team, which is really, really important, particularly because at the moment Sandy is out injured. Edgar Sandy, torn abdominal muscle. He's been out for pretty much the entirety of the time since last episode, and well, I think it'd be fair to say that Johnny gives him a pretty good run for his money if we compare them head to head. I mean, you can see here, he's a little bit better defensively, a little better physically, maybe not as technically gifted, But in terms of a player signed for £650,000, I think we can all agree good value in the market. Anyway, with Kahinde going, I needed a replacement deep line playmaker, and the player that I've picked up as an immediate solution is Dirk Proper, who is a Dutch player, if I'm not mistaken, playing for Milan in real life. Do you play for Milan in real life? I think he actually no, he plays at NEC. Either way, he's looking pretty tasty so far. One assist, one player of the match, a 7.45 average rating. This man, I don't think I know he's not the long-term solution to Kahinde. When you compare them head to head, he does excel in some certain areas, but he doesn't kind of really hold a direct comparison. But for an absolute fraction of the price, he looks like he's going to be a good little addition to the team. Arietta has also joined us from Barcelona. These cheaper players were signed with kind of pre-contracts. Their contracts were expiring, and then we exercised a buy now clause. Arietta is one such player. Unfortunately, he's bruised his shoulder, so he won't be appearing as a starter, at least in the first game of today's episode, but he has already scored on his debut. The former Barcelona man, I mean, when you're former Barcelona, I think that's a label that gets slapped on you for life. So we will hope that he is going to be very, very good for us. Harvey Elliot, a familiar face in amongst a sea of regens, joins us on loan from Liverpool at 21 years old. He looks like a really, really good player, can play a real variety of positions out wide. I think for us, we're going to namely see him out on the right-hand side. So a good little kind of squad depth signing. Pelissard has joined us from Gungam. Good backup striker. Didn't really have a backup striker that I was in love with. I think this guy could be the solution. At 22 years old, he's a super well-rounded player. I will say, statistically, on the pitch, he's never really shone as a player just yet, but I'm hoping we're going to be the manager to get a lot out of him. Signed for only 1.8 million, so such a low-risk transfer. The sale of Kahinde was one that I wrestled with a lot, but ultimately I decided the players that I could bring in, the quantity and the quality, I couldn't reject 45 million, could I really? And you can see where the money's gone. It's gone on some big players, and well, the last of the players is a left back, and we've not really had a nailed on left back this year. I'm hoping that Tom Hayden is going to be the man to become one such player. 21 years old, capped for England's under-21s. He joins us from Charlton. Not the best defensive player by any means, but very, very good going forward. Great crossing, great dribbling, work rate's good, physicals are very, very well rounded. And at 21 years old, I've got pretty high hopes that he can become kind of the opposite of Galvez. Out on the right, we're going to have Galvez, who's a very kind of wing-backy wing-back. Wing-backy, what terminology, Jack? And I kind of hope, in a weird way, that Tom Hayden on the other side is kind of going to be the opposite. I think they're not dissimilar players, although you can see the comparison here. I would say Galvez, probably just a tiny little bit better. But nevertheless, free transfer that we agreed, signed him permanently like many of these deals. And while we are continuing to do some business, let's talk about the players who are going to be joining us, because I think they're the most exciting ones. And we've got some really good players on the horizon. So Lavallee is going to be joining us from Liverpool. He is a young French under-20 goalkeeper. I have got to realise that at some point Thomas Himmer is probably going to return back to Toulouse. They're probably going to stop loaning him out to us. And I do think that Lucas here is a pretty good alternative, to be fair. You can see the direct comparison. Thomas a little bit better in some areas, but Lucas is a couple of years younger. He's a super, super consistent performer as well, as you can see by this beautiful green glowing circle. So I think he is going to be a good player next year. Barry Marsden joins us from Tottenham, an incredible talent at centre-back, super consistent, immense physicals, listed as a wonder kid. That makes the juices flow, doesn't it? And he's going to be a very exciting player joining us. And a player who I'm sure many of you are familiar with, Noan Kenny, is joining us. The former Leeds United man who has kind of gone to Swansea and not really developed in this save game. A player who I'm sure if you've played Football Manager, you've come across at some point this year. Very good player. You can see here he joined Swansea a few years ago now. He is going to be joining us come the end of the season as a freebie. I see him as a player who can slot right into the ball-winning midfielder role within our midfield. And then, well, we have Javy Simmons joining us for 7 million, the long-term solution to Kahinde, the player who I really wanted to sign immediately for Kahinde, because I just feel like he is the natural successor. He's an incredible deep line playmaker. Defensively, he's pretty sound as well. Has 15 leadership, 21 years old. Yes, he's not quite the same quality as Kahinde, but you know what? For £7 million, a fantastic young player, lots of potential, super consistent. The reason I couldn't sign him in January is because he's already played for 2 teams this calendar year, and if you don't know, you're not allowed to play for 3 teams within kind of a season I think that's a FIFA rule, but unfortunately, as a result of FIFA, you know, that bloody federation getting in the way, not the video game, he's going to have to join us at the end of the year, but I am very, very excited for him to join us. Anyway, last player that we've signed who's guaranteed to join is Vianney from ASEC, a familiar foe. I've not signed enough players from ASEC in recent Football Managers, a fantastic little club in the Ivory Coast that have great players. I think he's going to be one, I suppose, to keep an eye out for the future. Going to be joining us upon his birthday in September later on this year. So, yeah, plenty of business done for next season. And as you can perhaps tell from the signings we've made for this year, I am targeting staying up this year. And I think we have to target it. And I think when you look at our recent form, we have every right to be targeting it because we have turned a corner. That PSG game, I think it ruffled a few feathers and we went into an easier run of games and we've done okay so far. So I think the most notable thing actually right away to look at is just the French Cup, because we're not in it anymore. I don't want to dwell on it too much. Realistically this year, the league was the focus. We beat Le Mans, we beat Châteauroux, we came undone against Metz. As I said, it would have been lovely to go on a cup run, but the reality is it ain't the focus this year, is it? The focus is the league, and if we just look at our league form as of late, it's hard to disagree with the fact that things have improved for the better. In fact, when you look at this, we've kept 3 clean sheets in our last 5. That's pretty good. And, well, we didn't get a clean sheet in the first game. It was against Bordeaux, a 3-1 win. Lots of corners in this one, making the most of set pieces, something that we've done in previous years. We've not really done as much this year. Julien Blaise and Fomba with a couple of tap-ins. Gahinde getting his last ever goal for the club before he left from range to make it 3-0. They did score from the penalty spot in added time. It was a shame to lose the clean sheet in that way, but ultimately we needed 3 points. Going into that game, we'd only won 1 of our previous 11, and it did make me feel a little more confident. And this foot game and the very next game against Rennes, 2 kind of games where we got 4 points from them, was the 2 games that really encouraged me. Yes, we can stay up. We just need to invest a little bit of money in the team. And whilst I didn't ever really anticipate selling Gahinde, his sale obviously enabled us to do a lot more business and strengthen our team to a situation where I look at us now and go, yeah, we should be staying up this year. So the next game we had was against Marseille, a little bit disappointing, but a very different calibre of opposition. Fantastic team, Marseille, and they kind of just showed that superior quality, unfortunately, disposing of us 2-0, 1 goal in the first half, 1 in the second half. We didn't create enough, we didn't look like winning, but these aren't the games that are going to kind of decide our league fate this year. Although, I guess the same could be applied to the very next game. It was against Rennes, and we won it via a Kofi header. It was proper with the ball into the box, slotting in straight away, doing the Gahinde roll, crossing it in. He got man of the match in the game as well. And against the Rennes, who have started the season very well and, you know, are competing for a European spot, to beat them 1-0 felt great. And what felt even better was the very next game against Strasbourg. Arietta, the former Barcelona youngster, out on the right-hand side, cutting in on his left foot. He is naturally kind of a wide attacking player, although he can play down the middle. He got us off to a flyer. Martinez then scored not too long after. It was Johnny Byrne with the header, flicking it on for him to finish away. And, well, Martinez got another before half-time. It was 3-0. They had a sending off, and with that, we kind of took our foot off the gas. But you know what? Strasbourg struggling down in the league. Fantastic win against them. And with that result, this is how the league table looks, everyone. Wow, we're in 13th. We are 6 points away from the drop. It is still very, very close at the bottom. And I'm very conscious of not getting too complacent, not kind of, you know, I guess giving in and just thinking the job's done. Today's 2 games, though, are going to be pretty big in terms of our season. We are taking on Lens and Cannes. If we just look at where they sit in the league, 17th and 19th. But with our new players, with our recent form, I think these are the kind of games that we need to start winning and that we have to win if we do want to stay up. So you might be thinking tactically what's been going on, because I did shuffle things around a lot against PSG, and after that game and having switched to more attacking at half-time and kind of held our own better, I've decided to be brave. I've decided to back us to do our business, and with that all in mind, for today's game, we are going to be playing the more attacking system. You'll notice that with Hayden and Galvez now in the team, 2 really kind of recognised wing-backs, I've decided to ditch the fullbacks on support and go for teams more, particularly a game like that. With our fullbacks now being in more attacking roles and duties, Proper, who we've signed, is going to be playing as a deep line playmaker on defend, holding the fort a little bit more. But you can see, going into the final third, it's not too different besides the deep line playmaker change. Same kind of 4 roles up front, although a few different personnel in it for today's game. As you can see, a few players obviously suspended, a few players injured, and Olawale and Marlon Adriano on international duty with their various national teams, African Cup of Nations and also the South American Under-20s Championship. I don't know the official name, but Brazil international youth stuff. I don't question it. He's still not made his debut, Marlon Adriano. I'm very excited for him to do so. I actually think we might have an issue come the summer with Barry Marsden joining us as well at centre-back. We could end up with too many good centre-backs. To be fair, though, it's a pretty good problem to have, so I'm not going to complain too much if that is what happens. Anyway, this is the team we're going to go with, so keep an eye on the likes of Pelissard up top. Striking-wise, I want to give him a few more chances to show us what he can do. In the French Cup, he got 3 goals playing for Gungam. I want to see what he can do at League level, because whilst he's not really shone at League Dirt level, I mean, I look at him, and I look at all these 4 teams, and think, you know what, compared to, some of the other players we have, you are not far away, and I think you're a very, very good player. In fact, if you just compare him to Kofi, yes, Kofi's better, that's... I'm not going to argue with that because Kofi's a very good player. He's not a world away, and I think for 2 million, especially with all the money we've made, he just represents a really, really good kind of bit of business. Although his face picture's a bit blurry, which does bother me. Maybe that's why I got a discounted price. It's a defected product. Anyway, let's see what we can do today. Mitrovic is going to come in with Mercier suspended, with Sandy injured, and just various other bits going on. We're a little light at the back, but I still think we can win this game at home against Lens. Let's show why we are fighting, well, for mid-table now, dare I say. If we win this, we would hopefully pull close to 9 points clear of the drop. And whilst there is still a little bit of work to be done, it would ease the pressure on us. On the flip side, if we do lose the next 2 games, suddenly all this positivity that I hope I'm exuding just vanishes. But I don't know, between the dealings that we've done and obviously just recent form, I feel like there's just loads of reasons to be positive, and I think we have enough quality now across the whole team to play a more attacking style of play, which is nice. I feel like I've not talked enough about the Kahinde deal, so as this plays out, I do want to talk about it more, because I'm sure it's not going to be the most popular of decisions, but it came down to a few factors. Whilst he is an immense leader and he is a really important player, we are going to lose him fairly frequently to the African Cup of Nations going on every few years. I feel like deep line playmakers in Football Manager aren't hard to come by. Compared to like good fullbacks, compared to good wingbacks, I feel like you have deep line playmakers coming out of your ears, and within the match engine, they always just perform pretty well, as we've already seen really with Proper coming in and getting man of the match on his debut. And ultimately, 45 million is just a bonkers amount of money. Whilst we've not even spent that much of it yet, with all the money we have in the bank, the 50 million, I'm hoping that we are going to be given a treasure trove of cash kind of dumped on our desk come the end of the year from the board to really reinvest and go nuts with. And I think we can stay up without him. I guess that's what it came down to. It was a case of, can we stay up with Kahinde? And if we don't stay up, am I going to get 45 million for him again? And the answer to both those questions was kind of, well, yes, I think we can stay up without him. No, we're not going to get this kind of offer if we go down. And so, I don't know, it just felt like the right move. You can have your own opinion, let me know it down in the comments. I realise that as I say all of this, how we're going to stay up, how we have the quality, we are now a goal down against Lon in the relegation zone. So it's time to get shouty. We've not been good enough here. We are a little bit makeshift at the back, to be fair. That's not really an excuse for conceding this early on. Let's have a go here. Galvez cutting inside, hits it straight at the keeper who tips it over. A save for the camera, that one perhaps. Not a bad opportunity wasted. I mean, we still got a corner. We're good from these normally, but Mercier is not in the team. One of the top goal scorers just not around. Was one of the reasons why I decided to bring in the likes of Harvey Elliot and Pelissard, is really because we haven't had like a goal scorer who's run away with things, and I wasn't overly happy with our impact on the bench. Whereas I kind of look at our bench now with players like Blaze on the bench, with Campo on the bench. We have the ability to really change games around, have these plan Bs just lurking. I felt like in the first half of the season, there was very few occasions where I made a sub that I felt like really made a tangible impact, because a lot of the time the player I was bringing on was just a class above what we need for this level. That isn't the case here, and so, we have the options to change things up. Maybe a chance for a break here. Proper bringing the ball forward. It is a big breakaway, although you might need to hold the ball up a little. That is a mental tackle. That is a red card. I know Football Manager. I watch this game a lot. Give him the red, ref. Let's maybe make some changes. Maybe we bring in Julian Bays. Musket, what a mental tackle that is. You might as well have shot him with a musket with an effort like that. I don't even want to dignify that by calling it a tackle. Anyway, at least to start things here, they're not playing with a left attacking mid. In fact, that looks like that's how they're going to play. And if they're not going to play with a left attacking mid, you know what? If they're not going to respect us, Galvez, go and attack. And Harvey Elliot, cut inside a little more on support. Find that space. In fact, I might mix things up here. Harvey Elliot making his debut today hasn't wowed me. With that in mind, I'm going to bring in Campo, I think. And do I want to drop Kofi this soon? I don't. We're gonna bring in Campo. I was thinking about maybe dropping Kofi and bringing in Julian Blaze, or potentially even moving Julian Blaze into the wide area and then dropping Pelissard up front. But you know what? Pelissard got subbed off early on his debut for the club. I need to give him more time. You can't give a striker 55 minutes and expect him to score a load. Harvey Elliott keeps the ball in there. Whips it in as well. Pelissard hits it. I mean, the two players who I'm discussing subbing off suddenly linking up the first meaningful highlight of the half. But it's still in the back of my mind. Anyway, keep an eye on this kind of right-hand side for us, because where they are down a man, I want to exploit things. Ball to Kofi there. Not exactly ideal. Dealt with by them. Ball nodded down as well to Capon. Got to be mindful that as we chase this game, we are potentially going to leave ourselves more exposed. Tell you what, Pelissard's held up the ball well so far this game, and he's given it to Kofi there. He's just Rabona'd it. He's just Rabona'd it. Kofi, what are you doing? What are you doing, Kofi? That's illegal. Campo gets a goal on off the bench, but we're just going to talk about this assist. We're just going to talk about this assist. Kofi gets it. Rabona's it to the back post. Campo gets his noggin on it. It's 1-1 before half-time, and you would say, with that goal, the momentum perhaps shifts in our favour to get a result now. Let's get shouty. Let's demand more. 25 minutes and counting. Hayden, the young English left-back. You might have noticed we are bringing in some Brexit boys. But behind Hayden, is it Marsden, the Spurs centre-back, and also, obviously, Kene joining us. 3 England under-21 internationals all joining us. Gone to my homeland. We've not had enough English players. Campo bringing it forward. Hits it. Oh, my word. Hits the woodwork. Defender heads it away. Campo's looked great since he's come on. I'm going to take Pelissard off and bring in Blaze, I think. We'll move him to the wide area and play Kofi down the middle. I've got one last sub in my back pocket. But you know what? I think I'm going to hold on to it at the moment. I feel like this game has shifted in our favour. And Lens, besides their one goal, really haven't threatened us, it doesn't feel like. Campo whipping it in. It's cleared away only as far as Bern. The Republic of Ireland international gives it away. A player who actually, to be fair, hasn't really shone at championship level. There's definitely players we've signed here who are a bit of gambles. Players who have not necessarily performed at a level that you could consider lower than this division. But I'm going to attribute that more to, you know, the league, the team that they play for rather than the league. Blaze, you've got to score that. Kofi heads over. We've hit the woodwork twice. Blaze had missed an open goal with that header, though. That was inexcusable. This game is one-way traffic. It feels like it's a game of attack versus defence in training, you know? We might as well not have a goal at the moment. 20 minutes left, 1-1. No, Galvez bringing it forward. Tries to switch it to Hayden, does so. The Charlton man squares it to Kofi. And there are the wing-backs in action. That's why we've gone with the wing-backs on attack. We have the ability going forward. Our talent defensively, at least in the wide areas, is through players who are very technical and good at bringing the ball forward. Galvez involved in it, switching it to his partner in crime on the other side. He plays it inside to Kofi, who's been shifted to the striking position. It's 2-1 here. And I never doubted us. I was not worried when it was 1-0 to them. I always believed that we were going to make the comeback, and this would be a very, very welcome win ahead of the next game, which is going to be against Cannes. Of course, Lens are in the relegation zone, so we need to be beating them. That's going to be offside. Blaze, don't celebrate. I know it's offside. You know deep down it's offside, friend. Stop the celebrations. Cancel them. Deflate the balloons. Although, if we get another goal, then you can re-inflate them. I'll allow it. Galvez again. Down this right side, he's looking very good. This has been one of his best kind of performances where I'm really noticing the impact he has. Just giving him that permission to roam forward. Kofi falls to Blaze, hits it just over the bar. I mean, they don't look good, Lons. They really don't look very good here. I can see why they're struggling. Of course, the sending off has changed this game. That there is no doubt, but we just look in complete control. Proper unleashing his inner Kahende, gives it to Campo. Galvez again with it. What can you do, Galvez? Crosses it in, Kofi's there. Suarez, lovely, lovely goal. Passing play, patient play. Suarez finds himself in the box. Kofi unselfishly lays it off. 3-1, 3 points. Job is a good one. And of the 2 games today, this one, I guess, against the team in 19th is the more important to win. I think it was also the more winnable one. So to come back from behind, albeit in circumstances that without a doubt benefited us, does feel very, very good. Lons in all kinds of trouble. And I'm sure there's someone whispering right now at their monitor, Jack, go defensive. Look, no, we're going for blood. I want 4, lads. I want 4. No mercy. No relenting. Ball flicked on Hayden, though, all over it. Rocking the number 16 shirt at left back. I don't know how to feel about that. I don't normally care about squad numbers, but somehow 16 at left back just feels like a crime. Campo to Martinez. Wide to Galvez. This is really nice play. We are knocking the ball around really nicely. Cleared only as far as Hayden, who's looking like he's just slotting straight in at home here. Suarez has an effort. It's blocked. I'm trying to remember if Hayden has played yet. I think this might... Is this your debut, Hayden? I think he might have played 1 or 2 already now I think about it. But he's looking on fire. Campo slots it away. Tommy Hayden. Remember the name, everyone. Remember the name, Tom Hayden. He's not got many defensive bones in his body, but I'll tell you what he has got. He's got a lot of offensive bones in his body. Look how offensive they are. Even I'm offended by how offensive they are. The ball to Campo. Slots it away. Goal number 5 for the season. No, goal number 2 in this game. Pretty happy. Pretty happy. This is a contrast, isn't it? To the last episode. Things coming together. Things are coming together, boys. A good win. That is what we needed. That is what we've got. That is what the doctor ordered. I'm now curious. What was that your debut, Hayden? 2 assists. It wasn't. But an 8.5 across the 2 games. Not too shabby, if I might say so myself. He is looking at home in the team. And we looked very, very good there. I mean, could we dream of a top half finish? Paul Suarez has heaped praise on his manager after Luznac pulled off a superb 4-1 win. Apparently, it was my half-time team talk. I'm a tactical genius, everyone, and a psychological genius. We're up to 12th. Suddenly, the relegation zone is 8 points behind. And we look good. Dare I look forward? We are as close to Nice in 7th as we are to the drop. We've got Cannes up next. A win there will only extend our lead over the relegation zone. Let's go forward to it. It's going to be hard away from home, but after that, I think it's winnable. Let's do this. Okay guys, so we are back here for game number 2 against Cannes. Of course, today going to end up being a bit of a longer episode, so if you are enjoying it right now, just scroll down and hit the like button. It takes 2 seconds. It does massively help out the channel. I can't stress that enough. And, well, before we get into the game, I do want to just talk about relegation release fees, because a few of the players that we signed do have these clauses in it. It's perhaps something just worth acknowledging exists, should the worst happen. Although, given that last game, given our recent form, I'm going to remove the relegation release clause column and hope that we never have to see it again. Let's hope that it never has to be even considered. You may have also noticed that our first team is a little trimmed down. I have been shuffling some players up and down through the team, just for kind of general admin. I guess the most notable might be Thiago Cocu, who we've got on loan from Milan. Honestly, he's just not really done it for us when we've given him chances, and maybe I've not given him enough chances. But with the likes of Pelissard coming into the team now, I kind of want to focus on the players who are contracted at the club rather than players we've got in on loan. And, well, speaking of the team for today's game, we are going to shuffle things around a little bit. Campo is going to start out on the right-hand side. That means Kofi and Blaze are going to also come in and be shuffled around a little bit. So this is how the front 3 lines up. The midfield and defence look similar, although Mercier is back in the team, as I mentioned earlier. 4 goals to his name. He is getting goals for fun, the Frenchman. He was suspended for that recent and previous game. Meanwhile, Byrne alongside, he does look pretty good so far. 3 matches, not quite a 7.0 average rating, but you know what? Considering he's not scored any, for a centre-back of a team of our calibre, kind of where we are in the league, he's had a pretty good impact so far. And, well, today we are taking on Cannes, as we looked at before. They're down in 18th. This should be winnable. This should be there for the taking. Perhaps worth noting, this is only coming a few days after the previous match. I did want to start Ivan Arietta, the former Barcelona man, but it's just not available, unfortunately. And I feel terrible kind of painting him with the former Barcelona brush, but he's got quality. He's incredibly quick. His physicals are good. Technically, he's great. You can see here, naturally plays out on the right, but is left-footed. Ideal for our system. And he will be lurking on the bench, although even today, even after a few rest days from his bruised shoulder, still doesn't look particularly great for us, so he will probably not come on today, but never say never. Looking at their team here, they're going to play a similar 4-2-3-1. Of course, we are the away team here, but I've had enough of playing defensive. The board have had enough of playing defensive. They want to see us play on the front foot. And to be fair, since we made adjustments and went on the front foot, we've started banging in goals and we've started winning. Let's hope we can get another win here. That would be good, wouldn't it? I think this would make it... Would this be 4 wins in a row? I think we're on our best run of form all season right now, which, well, maybe this is a good time to be playing them, although they have just scored after 16 seconds. Maybe cancel that. First shot, first chance, first highlight, first goal. Cam taking the lead in this game. Cam go with it. I mean, what's happened here? It just looks like we're not really at the races. What is the defensive shape is... I don't even think questionable covers it. It's just non-existent. You couldn't question it because it's not there to be questioned. There is no shape. They've torn us apart. Now Kofi's got booked. I mean, is this going to be just a complete contrast to the previous game? Are we going to go from winning that game in emphatic fashion, albeit against 10 men, to completely bottling it here? Another team in the relegation zone. Another team who we should be beating for all intents and purposes. And well, let's see what we can do here. Galvez and Campo on this right-hand side. Linked up well previously. Campo drifting inside, tackled Suarez, Martinez. The battle in the midfield is fierce. They're going to come away the ball, but straight to Galvez. And now we're proper. The young Dutchman. The Dutch Kahinde, they call him. No one's called him that yet. Ball whipped in. Dealt with. But only as far as Campo again. And Galvez is ever present right now. Involved in everything. Bringing the ball forward. Whips it back post towards Blaze. Headed clear. Only as far as Kofi, who slots it into the bottom corner. Ball played back across the box by Blaze, and Kofi was there with his coffee. How does he like his coffee in the morning? I'll tell you how he likes it. He likes it with a goal. And, well, it was Galvez just drifting inside, afforded a little bit of time and space. Not a bad crossing, although questionable defending. Nice finish in the end, though. We make it 1-1. A good response, having gone a goal down inside the first 20 seconds. You know, many a team would falter under that pressure, but I feel like we've steadied the ship. And when you look at the stats right now... I mean, their only shot came in the first 20 seconds. We have been dominant. Yes, I was about to say we've not dominated the ball as much as we would like, but actually, 58% of possession. If anything, right now, we are getting better. We are growing into this game after a slow start. And well, we've got possession here, proper with it. Galvez is out on the right. Of course he is. Campo cuts inside on his left foot, tries to bend it goalwards, just wide of the post. I mean, Canna probably going to be looking to get in at half-time as things have played out so far. They are going to want a break, a chance perhaps for the manager to say some words. Chance here, though, for them. Ball headed away by Byrne to Campo now, who kicks it straight to the back of the midfielder. An incredibly lucky bounce, but Thomas is there. Of course Thomas is there. Just as teams think they've broken down our defence, albeit for a very fortuitous block, there's one last wall in the way. And most of that time, that wall, Thomas... is able to do his business. I mean, how many years has Thomas been at the club now? It must be 4 years? It's only 3 years, apparently. It feels like 4 years, doesn't it? Although that 25 clean sheet season does feel a little like a distant memory at this point. They've actually got better, as this game's gone on, but with 2 minutes left, a goal either way would be a bit of a sucker punch for the recipient. Blaze with it now with Proper. Plays it back across to the left-hand side where Hayden is there. Can he whip it? And he can. Campo was lurking, headed away to Galvez, who tries to nod it back into the middle. We are penning them in right now. Canna not allowed the ball out. 90 seconds left of the half. 1-1 at the moment, although Galvez looking to get it in. Not the best ball in. Thought for a second he might be caught high out of up the pitch and out of position, but Byrne is there to read it. Mercier says thank you, and he switches the play. We're knocking the ball around really nicely here. Really, really nicely. Patient, probing play. Our wing-backs getting forward, and while Galvez once more whips it towards Julian Blaze. Galvez, what's happened to you, mate? We've told you to get more attacking. We've told you to play to your strengths, and suddenly you've turned into prime Cafu. I mean, I'm not going to complain, mate, but what an insane ball. Minute into the 2 minutes that were added on at the end of the half. Blaze, with a header. Not scored enough this year. Goal number 6, though, for him. I'm sure Napoli are going to be delighted. And at the break, we've turned it around again. Maybe this is just what we need to do every game. Maybe we go a goal down and then turn it round. Maybe that's the new Luzenak way. Either way, ball, I think, played towards... I don't think it was Galvez, actually. I think it was Campo going for it. Bit ambitious from us straight from kickoff, getting the ball forward like that. Might be called into some defensive action. We were slow starting the last half. Are we about to be slow starting this half? We are, but I'll tell you what. Who do you think it is? Who do you think it is bailing us out? It's Thomas once more with a superb stopping goal to keep it at 2-1. I mean, surely we've got to wake up now. That is both halves of this match. We've conceded a clear-cut chance within the first minute. Wake up, boys. Someone get an alarm. Get an alarm clock for them. Or a foghorn or something. Big ball forward here, thrown straight to the keeper. Can going to look to build from the back. Meslier with it. Ball in his hands. They've had a lot of clear-cut chances and a lot of half chances. We've been very clinical, though. Which is something we certainly weren't in the first half of this year. But I do feel like, you know, morale's got on our side. Kofi, by the way, that saga with him wanting to leave. Obviously, we've not sold him. I've not been withholding that information from you. And actually, he is happy to be playing for the club. And I think since he solved his morale, he has been better. Ball falls to Martinez, blocked away to Blaze. Hayden is chopped down there. Can living life dangerously. A really good chance there. Unfortunately, we couldn't finish it. But we will have a set piece here. Hayden to whip it in with his left foot, you'd imagine. Does so. Galvez there nods it back across goal towards Martinez, who gets a lot of goals from kind of second balls down like that one. On that occasion, though, it was dealt with. What can we do here? Campo. Galvez on the right. Galvez is just everywhere right now. Visser with it. Missed that opportunity to start the half. I'm sure he's going to want to make amends should another chance fall his way for Can. It is still only 2-1 and he's threaded through here. Thought there might be offside and it is going to be offside. A really good finish as well. You know what? I've not been impressed by how we've been caught out at the back so far this game. I want us to drop a little bit deeper and I'm going to drop the offside trap. I do wonder if trying to play an offside trap when 2 out of the back 4 have joined in the last month is the smartest move. Just a little bit of a lack of, gelling in the team, a lack of familiarity, and that is going to impact the effectiveness of an offside trap. So I think with that in mind, we'll make some changes, although Can having chance after chance. Another one here. Set piece that this time we've headed away from goal. Harella now with it, though, going back towards their own goal Can, looking to build from the back. And well, it's not the most urgent of presses anymore, is it? We are going to press a little bit at the same time compared to how we were set up previously. We are sitting a little deeper and we're kind of trying to invite a bit of pressure onto us. I'm hoping that Can, in being afforded more space, are going to move forward and give us space to hit on the break. Visser, by the way, what an insane finish that is. I've questioned his finishing. I've questioned, if another chance came his way after his one-on-one miss, would he turn it around? He had one ruled out for offside. We were warned. We ignored the warnings. And it's a very good finish. And I think, you know what? At 2-2, that's probably my signal to make some changes. Campo is going to come off. I'm going to bring in Arietta despite his lack of fitness. Martinez is going to come off as well, I think, in this game. And you know what? I'm going to bring in Big Dub. We're going to go with a double change. Arietta, by the way, little bit unfit today. So keep an eye on that. Worth noting that I've got him set up to play inside forward instead of inverted winger. He's not as creative as some of our other options. He is just more of an inside forward. And whilst I don't really like to chop and change roles within a system with personnel changes too much, I feel like the inverted winger and inside forward are similar enough that I can kind of get away with changing them on the fly without, I guess, jeopardising our system. By the way, Arietta, have you just picked up another knock? You have. You picked up a groin injury. Excellent. That's annoying. I'm going to keep him on and chance it, I think. Kofi got a goal but has been very quiet since. It might be controversial. I am going to bring in Pelissard. I'm going to give him a little team... I never do these team talks. Give him a little pep talk. No pressure on you, son. 5 minutes left. We're on the attack. I want to believe that Pelissard could get his first senior goal. It's Galvez with the long throw towards Big Dub, who's on off the bench, of course, for that aerial threat. Ball whip back post. Blaze, oh my word, he is Di Canio. He is Di Canio, and Galvez is Cafu. Julien Blaze, I'm sorry I've questioned your finishing, mate. And Galvez, lovely cross into the box. Blaze, though, you cannot leave him unmarked. You can just see here, he's in acres of space at the top of the screen. Do not know where the Can right back is, and oh my word, the technique on that volley. Whew. Whew. Pardon me, I mean, I can't believe what I've seen. They've also gone down a man now, Can. 6 minutes of added time. They're down a man. Surely it is game over. There is no more highlights. There is no final twist in the tale. A 3-2 win. Galvez with 2 assists. What a win. What a result. I'm going to say it now. We're not going down this year. I'm confident now. 30 points in 24, 14 games left of the year. The relegation zone looks like a distant memory at this point, and we have every right to be very, very pleased with the results today. Some really good performances, and Blaze 2 goals and an assist. I mean, it's a shame you're not our player, but at the same time, lovely to see him just contributing massively in the first team today. But anyway, guys, that's going to wrap up everything from me today. I would love to know your thoughts on our transfer business in January. I feel like we strengthened smartly. We've made 70 million in sales and spent 12 million. I'm already looking forward to the summer. We are in a position now, I think, to really build something special. I feel like the signings we've made elevate the first team. Burn has been great. Prop has been great. Arietta, when he played and scored on his debut, looked great. Tom Hayden, even at left back, has been kind of going under the radar, but doing some really, really good stuff as well. Yeah, I'm looking at the team now, and the contrast between how I feel today and how I felt after the PSG game is kind of polar opposites, and I think that's probably evident in the live con. We look good. We've gone from being a team who looked like they were just destined to slip into the relegation zone to looking like a team full of fighters who, well, we should be aiming for mid-table, you'd think, at the very least right now. We could finish ahead of our affiliates. Maybe that's the aim. I mean, I'm now looking at Monaco in 6th, thinking you're only 10 points ahead of us with our recent form. Dare I dream? I mean, look at the past league positions. Look at the past league positions. This paints a picture, a resurgence, a light at the end of the tunnel. And I feel like it's kind of impossible not to be excited about what we're seeing on the pitch, especially when you look at the players we've got joining us. Players like Barry Marsden, a wonder kid centre-back. Players like Noah Kene. Yes, he's not developed as much as he does in some save games, but we've got a chance to give him kind of a second home. Even Javy Simmons to an extent. He's only 21. A born leader. He is the Kahinde replacement each and every day. I think about Kahinde. I'm not going to worry, because I know that Javy Simmons joined us at the end of the year, yes, for 7 million. But when you compare them head-to-head, whilst Kahinde is without a doubt better going forward, they are not worlds apart. And I think business-wise, we've done some really, really good dealings in the last kind of month, which I have every right to be excited about and pretty chuffed about in the moment. Anyway, I've rambled on for long enough today. I hope you enjoyed the live com double header. If you did, drop a like on the video, as I've already mentioned. If you've got any comments, let me know what you thought of our transfer dealings. What's your prediction now for the rest of the season? Very interested to know. I think things are changing. In terms of when we're going to be back, I'm not entirely sure yet. I think we'll see who we're coming up against. We'll see what big game could be on the horizon. Maybe the game against Monaco. They are in 6th. If we're aspiring towards a European finish, which does feel a little out of reach right now, that could be tempting. Or even Met, who we were promoted with last year. I think we'll wait and see. It'd be nice to come back when we've got a few players back from internationals, a few players who are, are waiting to make their debut. I want you to see what Arietta is all about, because he looked really good on his debut when he started, and yeah, when he's fit, he could be very, very good indeed. But anyway, guys, that's going to wrap up everything from me today. I've already said this bit of the outro. I'm going to cut things off here. I'm excited. You should be too. I'll see you tomorrow. It is me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.